Hello you guys, it is Jason and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a kind of, well, not really a different one, but it is going to be a baking video. So it was my mom's birthday, just in case you guys for some reason didn't know, and I wanted to do something really special for her because she is a great mom who really had to make a do with what she had, and she's always made sacrifices first for her children, and she has always been as present as she possibly could be, and she has had a really tough life, and she is one hell of a woman. So I just wanted to make her a cake because she doesn't really celebrate as much anymore, and I think that is so beautiful. Like, growing up is beautiful, and so I just wanted to make her a cake that she could eat on her birthday and make it just to her specification because she hates chocolate. I know, what the heck. And so, you know, it was just a little symbol of my love for her. And since we can't really do anything, we just had a little surprise get together for her at my parents' house. Yeah, that's what today's video is going to be about. Me making a cake for my mother, who is incredible, and I love her so much, and she is just one of the strongest people I know, and I just love her so much. So that's about it. So without further ado, let's just get right into the video. Alright you guys, so let's go ahead and make our cake. So I'm going to be using the Pillsbury yellow cake just because I kind of really like yellow cake, and we're putting vanilla pudding in it, so it'll taste like that anyways. So I'm just going to crack these guys open. We're making two so that I really want 3 tiers, so, or not 3 tiers, 3 layers, so we'll just have 1 layer extra. Alright, so both of these go in here, and then because we're using 2 boxes, we have 1 whole cup of oil. This is just vegetable oil, and then it calls for 2 cups of water, but we're going to put milk instead because that'll give it a moist texture. And then in here I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and then 2 teaspoons of vanilla pudding mix. So I'm just going to toss that guy in there as well. The pudding is just going to help everything stick better, so that when you do stack your cakes, they're a lot denser than like normal cakes, because this is an eggless cake, you want to have a denser cake so that when you stack it, it doesn't fall on top of itself. Now we're just gonna go ahead and give this a good whisk. I'm gonna add some more of my Jell-O mixture because it's still a little bit thin. So what we're looking for is a really thick, not a super thick, but a thicker batter, so that when it pours, that's a lot better. It's not as runny. It's still pretty runny, but it's not as runny as before. But you basically want it to be as dense as you possibly can. And as the instant pudding mix, I feel like, is kind of melting together, and as we're mixing it together, it's definitely becoming a lot thicker. And you can tell it's not as runny anymore. We're just gonna let that sit aside for a little bit. So all I did was I let it kind of chill out, hang out, while I was cutting the parchment paper, and as you can kind of tell, it really did thicken up, and that's exactly what we want. So I'm just gonna give this one final stir just to make sure everything's combined, and then I'm gonna just take, this is a 1/2 cup spoon, you can take any like measuring scoop or whatever, and I'm just gonna start spooning them in. And these are 9-inch pans. So now that those are all poured in, the reason why I like using a measuring cup is because it makes sure that all of the measurements or every single one has at least a good similar amount, so that it'll rise just the same amount and it'll keep everything level. But now all I'm gonna do is smooth these guys out and just make sure that they're all on the pan, and then we're gonna pop these guys in. I have my oven preheating at 325 because these are non-stick pans. The recipe calls for 34 minutes. I'm gonna pop them in for about 20 minutes and then keep checking on them, because I feel like if it's not chocolate, it tends to burn a little bit quickly. So I just want to make sure that I'm checking in on it as much as I possibly can, and that it doesn't burn, because no one likes burnt cake, especially if it's not chocolate. Alright, so now that they're all smoothed out, I'm going to pop these guys into the oven for about 20 minutes and check up on them, and then show you guys what they look like. Alright, so we are going to make our frosting from scratch today, because every single time that I have made cake, everyone tells me that it's delicious. However, the frosting is always too sweet. So we're gonna go ahead and make some from scratch. Okay, so basically what we're gonna need for this guy is we're gonna need Cool Whip or any whipped topping. We're gonna need some instant vanilla pudding. You could do any flavor, but I'm just gonna do vanilla because it's gonna taste good with all the different tastes. The next thing that we need is vanilla extract, and then we're also gonna need some milk. So I'm gonna double the recipe because I have a lot of cake that I need to get done. So it says to first take one whole, I'll have the recipe linked down below, but it says to take, so we're gonna take one whole Jell-O packet and toss it in there. So I was reading online, and it looks like the less milk that you put, the thicker it's going to be. So I think instead of putting a whole cup of milk, what I'm gonna do is I'm only gonna put in a like 3/4 of a cup, because you can always add more milk later if you feel like there isn't enough. So let's put in 3/4 of a cup of milk. Or I'm just gonna put in 1 cup of milk so that it is half the milk that they called for. We also need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract per 8-ounce tub of Cool Whip. So I'm gonna put in 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Alright, so 2 teaspoons. Now, we're gonna whisk this guy together first. So I'm just gonna whisk this guy together first, and then we're gonna fold in our Cool Whip. So I've got a rubber spatula, and I'm just gonna go in with 2 tubs of Cool Whip. And the reason why I chose this particular recipe is because it's literally my first time making my own icing from like scratch. So I thought it'd be easier to just follow an easy recipe, and then I can get into something that's a little bit more intense. I think mine hasn't gotten to room temperature all the way. It's still a little frozen. I highly suggest using a hand mixer or like a stand mixer for this, because this is hard. Okay guys, I just mixed it up, and oh my god, I tried this. It is so freaking delicious. Oh my god, you guys need to definitely try this recipe, even if you're not putting it on a cake. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and stack our cake and do the crumb coat. So I'm just gonna take some of our frosting and just lay it down so that nothing sticks, and off we go. And what I'm using as my cake board is just a charger from Dollar Tree. I feel like this is the best frosting for the actual frosting inside the cakes while I'm layering it, because it's easy to spread and it's not taking away or putting too much weight on the cakes themselves, so they're holding most of their shape, if that makes sense. So now that the cake is fully covered, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my offset spatula and I'm gonna start smoothing it out, and it's gonna give it a really nice gradient look. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop this guy into the freezer, and then we're gonna come back one more time and really give it a smooth out and make sure that everything looks nice and smooth and neat. Alright you guys, so that is all that I have for you guys today. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what other kind of cakes you want to see from me, because I love baking cakes. I remember I made a cake for my brother's birthday in April and it didn't come out that good. It crumbles right before my eyes and it was very, very sad. And I was talking to one of my friends and I was like, I don't know what it was about that cake. But I was so personally offended, like my ego was so personally bruised that I felt like I had to make a cake. I had to get it right and I had to be able to do it at like a professional competing level. I don't know what it was, but here I am, and making cakes is easy to me. So I definitely want to do some more detailed cakes. Let me know what other kinds of cakes you guys want to see from me. I really want to do a floral fault line cake, but only if you guys want to see it. So let me know down in the comments below or shoot me a message on Instagram. But thank you so much for watching. Happy birthday to my mother. And yeah, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching. You are helping my dreams come true. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in a video super soon. Mwah. Bye guys.